Good evening, Rabbi. Now that we have come to the summer, the question arises, is one allowed to pray Arvit, the evening prayers, before night, before even the sun goes down? The truth is that we find in the Bet Yosef that this is the custom of the Sephardic Jews, that they pray Arvit before the sun goes down. What does that mean? That they're relying on the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda that night comes at Plaga Mincha, which is an hour and a quarter before the night. So therefore, if the sun goes down, let's say about 8:30 nowadays, this time of year, that means that Plaga Mincha will come out to be about 7:10, 7:11, something like that, according to the calculation that we made. So therefore, once that time comes, the Sephardic custom is to pray Arvit early, and this is considered to be night according to Rabbi Yehuda, and therefore a person is allowed to pray Arvit at that time. The truth is that we find in the Shulchan Aruch, however, the Shulchan Aruch tells us not to do this unless it's a time of need. It's a special leniency that we give to some people when they have a time of need, but generally it says not to do that. But the truth is that we find brought down in the books of our Moreno Rabbeinu Maran, he writes in Yebi Omer that the custom of the Sephardim until this day is to be lenient regarding this, and in the summer, and also anytime they want, it doesn't matter if it's the summer or not, but in the summer it's convenient. They can pray Arvit, as we said, about 1 hour before the sun goes down. This is the reason why, because we rely on the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. The Sephardim are lenient regarding this because of practical reasons. What's the reason why? Because a person at night, now it's late, so a person wants to get home at a reasonable time and be with his family, have dinner, all kinds of things, or it also can mess up his schedule. Let's say if he's an avrech, let's say he's studying Torah at night. So in that case, what happens is if he doesn't get a chance to pray Arvit early, and then he has to go into the night seder, right, the night learning, so he won't have time anymore to pray Arvit at a reasonable time. So therefore what we do is we allow them to pray Arvit early, and this was a custom in Jerusalem, in many places, just like the yeshiva that we learned in Yechabadat, the yeshiva Maran, and also many other places like the Shtiblach, like Musayov, one of the biggest synagogues that we have in Jerusalem. Over there, they have a minion factory that goes on all the time, 24 hours a day. And what they do is, you're going to find over there in the summer, hundreds of people praying Arvit early, just like this, doing Mincha first, and then Arvit, and going home earlier because they cannot wait to go home so late. They don't want to get home at 9 o'clock and 9:30. It's already too late for the family. It's too late for them. It doesn't fit into the schedule. Says Maran, Alav Shalom Ravadia, in his book Yebi Omer, that he himself also used to do this. He used to pray when he was younger. He used to pray. He used to go to Musayov over there in Jerusalem, in the Bukharian quarter, and he used to pray early Arvit because it didn't fit into his schedule otherwise. He wanted to have free time at night to learn or whatever, so he didn't want to have to go back to the shul again one more time, so forth and so on. So therefore what he used to do is, as we said, he used to pray early. So therefore, right, for sure, the Sephardim have what to rely on to pray early Arvit, as we said, about 1 hour, halachic hour, before the sun goes down, 1 1/4 hour before nightfall, which is 3 stars coming out. So now, what about the Ashkenazim? That's the question, right? The Ashkenazim, the truth is, we find in the Ramah that they were also lenient in Europe. They were very lenient, and the truth is, right, they were even more lenient than we are, the Sfaradim. It says over there in the Ramah, the source is from the Rosh and from the Tosfot, that they say that they used to have a custom in Europe, the Ashkenazim, that they would pray Arvit even earlier than Plaga Mincha, during the daytime, 2-3 hours before the sun goes down. Why is that? Because it seems like they had danger over there. There was a dangerous situation. So therefore they couldn't go back to shul in the synagogue at night. They had some kind of danger going on there, right? Anti-Semitism, pogroms, all kinds of things. So therefore what they did was they used to pray Mincha early and then pray right away Arvit afterwards, even though it was way, way too early. But nevertheless, says the Rosh regarding that, right, that if they pray Arvit after Plaga Mincha, and they did also Kriyat Shema. So Kriyat Shema, the question is, can you fulfill your obligation for Kriyat Shema at that time before the sun goes down? So says the Rosh, yes, you can. Right? The truth is that a person can fulfill his obligation according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, because that's considered to be night. The truth is that most of the Rishonim don't agree with the Rosh, and they say that a person has to wait till 3 stars come out. What does that mean? 3 medium-sized stars have to come out before a person can say Kriyat Shema. And this is the way it's brought down in the Shulchan Aruch, right? It's the Paskins in the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Reish Lamed Hey. It says over there that a person has to wait till 3 stars come out. What are we talking about 3 stars? We're talking about 3 medium-sized stars. Why medium? There's also large and there's also small. You know why? Because when it comes to the small stars, the Gemara says, the Talmud says, the small stars, you can only see them when it's like really, really pitch dark. So that's already before the night. That's after the nightfall has come already, not before. After the nightfall has come. When it comes to large stars, you can even see them in daytime, right? The truth is, we don't know how to see them in daytime. We don't know how to see stars, right? And it's brought down in several places, right? Brought down in the Pnei Yehoshua and the Tosfot that today we don't have the expertise to see the stars. So therefore, a person should not rely on his own vision to look on the horizon and say, oh, now I see those stars. So how do we know that the stars came out? We have the opinion of the Geonim, right? Who say that 13 and a half minutes, according to halachic hours, the stars already come out after the sun goes down. So therefore, right, just to be on the safe side, since we have to wait sometimes a little bit longer because of halachic hours in the summer, which is longer, so therefore we wait 20 minutes. If a person waited 20 minutes, for sure, that's already the time to say Kriyat Shema of the night. And that also applies whether you live in New York or you live in Florida or you live in Israel, whatever it is. It applies anyway. It doesn't make any difference. Why is that? Because seeing stars, medium-sized stars, they're already visible at that time, so the person knows how to discern. The truth is that we also have a hard time to see stars for other reasons. The reason is because, number one, there's smog in the air, and because of that, we don't have clarity in our vision in the sky, number one. And also, number two, since we have such a big light grid, lights all over, street lights and all kinds of lights that are coming from our electrical sources, so therefore, a person cannot see the stars so well because it's not so dark on the ground. Since there's a lot of light on the ground, it's very hard to discern and see those medium-sized stars when they first come out. So therefore, since we don't really have expertise and also the situation to see the stars, the only thing we have to do is just look at the timetable. Once the sun goes down, wait 20 minutes more, right? For sure in the summer. In the winter, it's even less than that, 15 minutes, whatever, 13 minutes. It could be even less, a little bit less. Nevertheless, a person can rely on that to say Kriyat Shema 20 minutes after the sun has gone down all year round. Doesn't make any difference which part of the year it is. But nevertheless, right, so what happens is like this now. When a person says Arvit early like that, like this Minhag the Sfardim, the Ashkenazim don't do this so much anymore. Even though they used to do it in Europe, afterwards they stopped doing it. The reason is because the Gaon of Vilna came out and said, right, that a person should not pray Arvit until the night comes, even though it's written in the Ramah that they used to do that. The Ramah was the Rabbi of Ashkenazim, but now the custom by most Ashkenazi minyanim, communities, is to wait until Tzedek Kochavim, right, until the sun goes down. Even though there are many places also in America that play when the sun goes down, they don't wait after that anymore. But nevertheless, the Ashkenazim now have become more stringent. They used to be more lenient than we are. They used to even pray even before Plag HaMincha. Now they're more stringent than we are. They went to the other side. And we pretty much are the same, right? We've been the same. We stayed consistent. The Sephardim, we still pray at Plag HaMincha just like we used to for the last 500 years and right, whatever it is. From the time of the Bet Yosef, Maran Bet Yosef, which was 500 years ago. He writes over there, the custom of Sephardim is to pray Arvit after Plag HaMincha, even though the sun has not gone down yet. So the question is like this, right? Regarding the Kriyat Shema, as we said, a person, if he prayed Arvit early, after Plag HaMincha, and before the sun went down, he has to come and say Kriyat Shema again, as we find in Shulchan Aruch also over there, in Reish Lamed Hey. He says that if a person prayed early like that, in Plag HaMincha, so then he has to say Kriyat Shema again when the stars come out, 20 minutes after the sun goes down. He has to say Kriyat Shema again. Why is that? Because he didn't fulfill his obligation during that time that they prayed Arvit before the sun went down. So the question is now like this, right? So why do we make a differentiation between Arvit and Kriyat Shema? When it comes to Kriyat Shema, we say, oh, you know what? If you read Arvit early, Plag HaMincha, so then you have to go back and do it again. You have to do Kriyat Shema again, because you didn't fulfill your obligation. When it comes to Arvit, though, we're lenient and we say, okay, Arvit, you fulfilled your obligation. But it should be the same thing. Why? Because just like this Kriyat Shema that we're doing this for the night. Also the Arvit, the night prayer, it's a night prayer. It's for the night. So therefore, why do we say, right, that we're lenient regarding the Arvit and we're stringent regarding the Kriyat Shema? What's the difference between this and this? The truth is that we find the Poskim and also the works of Moreno Rabbeinu, Maran Abba Shalom, Chazon Ovadia, he writes over there that there's 3 reasons why we're more lenient when it comes to Arvit than we are to Kriyat Shema. Number one is because, right, in the Gemara it says, in the Mishnah, in Masechet Brachot, it says, Tfilat Arvit en la keva, right? What does that mean? There's no fixed time for the prayers of Arvit. It's really something very, very loose. So a person can shift it over from this time to that time. The truth is, in the Zohar Kadosh, it brings down according to the Kabbalah that the truth is that it's better that a person shouldn't fix a regular time for Arvit every time. It's good that it changes around a little bit, because it's more accepted that way. Because otherwise, the prayers can get blocked at night because the chitzonim, the klipot, are ruling at that time at night. So therefore, right, the Zohar Kadosh says, right, Adarabah, right, just on the contrary, that it's better that a person shouldn't have a fixed time. So therefore, since we're moving Arvit around all the time throughout the year because of the change of the schedule of the daytime, nighttime, so therefore, actually, this is something very good according to the Kabbalah. But nevertheless, right, since it says in the Mishnah that Tfilat Arvit en la keva, there's no fixed time for Arvit. This is one of the reasons why we're more lenient regarding Arvit. There's no really fixed time. Any time which is considered to be night in a loose manner, right, somewhat night, according to Rabbi, that's already night. So therefore we say, right, that a person can pray Arvit. There's also another reason brought down, which is that Tfilat Arvit is derabanan. It's only rabbinical. But when it comes to Kriyat Shema, which is from the Torah, so therefore we have to be stringent, according to the stringent opinion, which is brought down in the Rishonim, that we have to wait till the 3 stars come out. And therefore, right, we have to wait till the 3 stars come out, 3 medium-sized stars. When it comes to Arvit, which is the Rabbanan, it's only rabbinical, so we can be more lenient according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, which is a legitimate opinion, right? Gemara says you can rely on that, right? The more Arvit, the more Arvit. So either way, right, you fulfilled your obligation according to one opinion or the other. That's what the Gemara says. So therefore, right, when it comes to something which is from the rabbis, like Tfilat Arvit, we can be even more lenient than we are regarding Kriyat Shema, which is from the Torah. There's also another reason that we're lenient regarding the prayer of Arvit, because it says in the Gemara, right, the Masechet Brachot, that Tfilat Arvit Reshut. What does that mean? It's not really an obligation, Tfilat Arvit. What does that mean? That the rabbis made it like, okay, if you can, pray. If you can't, okay, we'll let you slide. The truth is now, the poskim say, the authorities say that in our times, it was already accepted as an obligation. But nevertheless, since the root of the prayer of Arvit is reshut, it's not obligation, it's not mandatory, it's something which is optional, if you can, whatever. Since the root is optional, so therefore we're more lenient regarding the time. So therefore, what does that mean? We can be loose and say, okay, let's pray Arvit a little bit early, according to Rabbi Yehuda, this is Plaga Mincha, this is already night according to Rabbi Yehuda, and therefore, right, because of these 3 reasons, this is the reason why we're lenient regarding Arvit. But when it comes to Kriyat Shema, since it's from the Torah, right, and there's a fixed time for Kriyat Shema, so therefore we have to be more stringent regarding Kriyat Shema. What does that mean? That a person, right after he finishes the Arvit, if he prayed Arvit early, Plaga Mincha, so right after the sun goes down, waits 20 minutes after that, so now it will be about 8:50 at that time, since now it's considered to be already the stars came out, even though you can't really see them very well, but you should be able to see them if you knew how to see them, and if the conditions were correct. So therefore, in a case like that, a person waits about till 8:50 around that time, and I'm talking about New York time, right? In Israel, there's a different time. In Los Angeles, there's a different time. Every place has its own time. New York tri-state area we're talking about. So about 8:50, you're going to be okay. What does that mean? You can say Kriyat Shema already at that time. You fulfilled your obligation. But the truth is, right, a person can also ask, wait a second, okay, but I can fulfill my obligation also when I go to sleep. Before I go to sleep, I have to say Kriyat Shema anyway, right? The custom is to say Kriyat Shema before you go to sleep as well, to protect your soul from the mazikim, from the dangerous elements that attack you at night when you go to sleep. But nevertheless, the Shulchan Aruch says a person shouldn't do that. You know why? Mitzvah bal yadecha al tachamitzena. What does that mean? When a person has an opportunity to do a mitzvah too early, especially when something from the Torah, you shouldn't wait till later on. I'll wait till I go to sleep. Who knows what's going to be when you go to sleep? Maybe you'll fall asleep, you'll forget Kriyat Shema. Maybe you'll already be after Chatzot, and after Chatzot, after midnight, it's already too late according to the rabbis to say Kriyat Shema. The diabad, the Chatchila, you should say before midnight. So therefore, right, if you go to sleep very late, like many people do in our times, it's already going to be too late to say Kriyat Shema according to Chachamim, who say you should say the Kriyat Shema, you should say before midnight, according to Halacha midnight, the Halachic midnight, which is about 12:54 in our area. So because of all these reasons about the Rabbatai, a person should say Kriyat Shema if he prays early, like the Sfardim do in the summer. Most of the Sfardim, or many of the Sfardim, what he should do is come back and say Kriyat Shema again about 8:50 our time, because it's going to be 20 minutes after Shkiyah, so he can already fulfill his obligation. He doesn't have to wait till the time of Rabbeinu Tam. Even though we find that in the Mishnah Brura, he writes over there in Siman Reish Lamed Hey that a person should wait till Rabbeinu Tam, but the custom is not like that. We wait till the time of the Geonim, because now the halacha is like the Geonim. In most places, people do like the Geonim, so therefore we wait 20 minutes once the sun goes down. You don't have to wait 45 minutes like the custom is regarding Shabbat in these areas, because that custom, as we said, right, it has all kinds of issues. We're going to talk about a different time why that's not correct, that custom. But nevertheless, whatever it is, right, the point is that a person should wait 20 minutes and they say Kriyat Shema. So therefore, he fulfills obligation of Arvit, praying early. And when it comes to Kriyat Shema, as we said, since it's from the Torah, we're going to be more stringent and do it later on when the sun goes down. But don't wait till you go to sleep. Why? Because then you may come to forget, fall asleep, whatever, all kinds of things can happen. Or you can say also after midnight, the halachic midnight. So therefore, a person should say it on time. Mitzvah ba'le'adecha, al tachamitzena. Don't delay something which came to your hands, the mitzvah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Chazak u'baruch.